What's going on, guys? My name is 𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻, and today we've got a special video. I've got a guest star who's gonna be helping me make this pizza for today, and his name is Fred. Fred here is gonna be helping me make a lobster mac and cheese pizza. Isn't that right, buddy? Just for a size reference of how big this lobster actually is, look at the size of his claw in comparison to my hand. Isn't that crazy? He's a 3.68 pound lobster. So this boy is gonna have a lot of meat to him. And the mac and cheese that's gonna pair with Fred, we've got Gruyere and some sharp cheddar cheese that's gonna go on cavatappi. We're also gonna add some breadcrumbs on there, and it's all gonna come together very well. So first thing that we gotta do is we gotta dispatch our boy Fred. And by dispatch, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. So next, we've got a pot of water here that's boiling, and you don't want to do too much. So I would recommend that you do the water level just high enough to where you can submerge the lobster, but not have too much over top of it. But next, we're gonna salt it. So just adding a couple pinches in here based on the size, and that should be good. And now we're going in with Fred. Bye, bud. And then we'll cover it over top. Boom. So since he's a big lobster, he's gonna be about a 25-minute wait. So we're gonna set our timer for 25 minutes, and in the meantime, we're gonna start making this macaroni and cheese. Hey Siri, set a timer for 25 minutes. Temperature control is something also that's very important. Once you start to see that the bubbles are rising up from the lobster to a point where the pot is starting to raise, or whatever it is that you're covering it, we don't have a lid, so we're using a bowl, then you can lower the temperature so that way it maintains that rolling boil, but the bubbles aren't pushing up your lid or overflowing the pot, right? Simultaneously, we've got this water going for the cavatappi that we're gonna be using, and that's gonna be our pasta of choice for the macaroni and cheese. We're gonna go ahead, salt the water, and I believe we got about a pound of pasta in here, so we're gonna season based on how much I think we need, and I like salt, so. So now we've got our water that's boiling, so we're gonna add our cavatappi right in there. So we're gonna mix around that pasta, let that serve for a little bit. In the meantime, we've got this roux that's gonna start. We're gonna add 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter right in there, and we're gonna put this on a medium heat. Now, once this butter starts to melt, we've got a 1/4 cup of flour right here. We're gonna mix this in with the butter, and that's gonna be your roux. 2 ingredients, it's easy. And roux goes with a lot of recipes. So if you remember this, then I promise you, that'll just give you one extra leg up in your game while you're cooking. Make sure you're using a saucepan, specifically a saucepan, because the majority of our contents of what we're gonna be doing for this macaroni and cheese is gonna end up in this saucepan. Now, once the majority of your butter is melted, we're gonna add in the flour. So I like to do it in increments just to make sure that nothing clumps up too much and I can get the right consistency that I want. Now what you can do is you can bring it to the edge of the pan and just kind of mix like this. That is starting to blend in really well. We'll add the rest of it. What's really important in this step is that you want to make sure that your roux cooks for about a minute or two, because you want that flour to lose its tasteless flavor, right? So just let it go for a little bit, and this is all you need. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our milk and our heavy cream. We've got 2.5 cups of milk, and we've also got 1 cup of heavy cream. And we're gonna do this slowly. So I'm gonna add just a little bit to start off and let that mix a little. You wanna make sure that nothing's clumped up. You wanna keep this creamy and consistent. In goes the rest of the milk and the rest of the heavy cream. So now we're gonna simmer this for about 4 to 5 minutes until the texture starts to thicken. So over time, the milk and the heavy cream will actually start to bubble up and almost kind of foam, right? And that's what we're looking for. And it should be able to basically layer the back of a spoon. And I'll show you in just a second. See, this is what I'm talking about. See how it like sticks to the whisk now? And that's because you've gained this texture from the milk and the heavy cream after it heats up. So now that we've accomplished this, we've got a few ingredients that we're gonna be including. I'm gonna add salt and pepper. So typically you wanna do about like a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then as well as salt to taste. So I typically just do the same amount of black pepper with salt. So I'll just kind of go like that, shake it a little bit. Next, I'm gonna add a pinch of garlic powder. Typically you wanna do like a 1/2 teaspoon. And this is something you guys didn't see coming. But now, a little bit of Dijon mustard. I'm doing about a teaspoon's worth. It's gonna add depth to it. And now that we've got our seasonings in there, we're gonna start adding in our cheese. This is when I start to realize how much of a professional I am, because the pasta is done and this literally has a minute left. Divine timing, I don't know what it is, but that's just just how it ended up working. So let me go ahead and dump these out. So in goes the pasta. Now the lobster. Freddie, welcome back. So next for the sauce, we're gonna have to take our cheese and put them all in. So first thing that we're gonna do is our sharp cheddar. 2 cups of shredded white sharp cheddar. I highly recommend that you guys shred your own cheese because I promise you, it makes a difference. We're gonna pour this in and we're just gonna slowly mix in until all of our cheese is thoroughly melted. Now remember, you're doing this on the lowest possible setting. You literally want a low heat and just let it naturally cook in. So next we've got a cup of our hickory smoked Gruyere. This is gonna add like a nice nutty taste to it, but also since it's smoked, I think it's gonna also add a little bit of smokiness to this, and it's gonna melt super well. Let's drop this in next. Dude, that smells amazing. Oh my God. And now after the Gruyere, we're gonna add a little bit of mozzarella cheese. We got a half cup here, and we're just gonna mix that in. We're gonna add in the cavatappi, and we're gonna mix this around. Oh, overspilled a little bit. It's fine. Look at that creamy richness. Come on now. If you want to take an atomic shit, this is how you do it. And just like that, our macaroni and cheese is finished. So now we've got the most important part. It's not that important, but we got the next part. Next, we're actually gonna do the breadcrumbs for the topping of the pizza. So I've got bread here, and I'm literally just gonna break it apart, and I'm gonna put it in our food processor. Get it started. Now we're gonna go back into the kitchen. Here we got 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're gonna melt that a little bit. We've got these breadcrumbs, and we're gonna dump them in. The reason that we're doing this is because if you soak them in the butter and then you begin to bake them in the oven, then they'll get that nice brown crisp that you want. So we're just gonna continue to soak these in the butter. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And now that these breadcrumbs are done, we've got one final thing that we have to do before we can start assembling this pizza. I'm gonna show you guys step by step how to break down a lobster. The main things that you're gonna need are a knife and a rolling pin. I'll get to the rolling pin later. But here we've got the lobster, and the main components that we're looking for are the claws, the tail, and the legs. So the claws, you simply just wanna break off at the shoulder joint, like that. We'll leave those to the side. We've got the tail. What you wanna do is where this body meets the back to the tail, you just wanna twist and then pull. Lastly, people often miss this. You wanna take the legs, and you can actually grab the legs and pull like this. You've got all the body parts of the lobster that you're supposed to eat. This is for your discard. So we're gonna start with the tail. For the tail, I would recommend grabbing a rag, and what you're gonna wanna do is put the rag on the back side of the tail, right? And then you're simply just gonna squeeze until you hear a crack. What you wanna do is you wanna open up the tail so you're facing the underside of it, and you're gonna take each layer up to the 3rd layer and simply peel back and then twist around. There's 2. You have the majority of the tail out now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the backside, pull apart. You could just slowly pull the tail out. And now you've got a perfect tail. Next, we're gonna do these claws. You wanna take this knuckle and you wanna crack, leave it off to the side. We're gonna focus on that later. We got the claw right here now. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull back, twist, and then pull out. Got a little bit of meat there. Oh my God. Thank you, Fred. Now you've got the claw. You're gonna turn it down like this. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna chop and then twist. Oh, Fred's a big boy. There we go. You can take your thumb, push it through the bottom side just a little bit, so that way you can feed out that claw, just like this. Get all that water out. Crack, twist, pull. Slowly let it out. Boom. Next claw. People often struggle with the knuckles here. I actually cut at the end with scissors, right? You got a little opening here now. So now what you can do is you could turn it upside down and you literally just work your way through all the way in. Work smarter, not harder. Now we've got all this meat. And then once you got your knuckles done, this is the next thing that's most important, is we're gonna do the legs. Now, in order to effectively get these legs out the right way, what you're gonna wanna do is take the claw at the end and you're gonna want to cut, and then same thing on the other side, cut. This part's really cool. What you'll do is you'll lay the leg down, and if you take a rolling pin, you can actually squeeze out the leg. That's a trick that not many people will teach you. It works really well. Cut, cut, rolling pin. Boom. I'm gonna do it to the rest and we'll get back. And next you can break down the head. And we're not gonna use the head, but sometimes you do need to break down the head for like presentation reasons or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. What you'll do is you take the antenna and just snip at a good length, turn it on the back side, and you could literally just rip out all of the contents. And then if you cut it in the right spot, like a V shape, so now you've got a presentation of exactly what a breakdown of a lobster looks like. Obviously, I don't want these big pieces for the pizza, it just wouldn't make any sense. So I'm literally just gonna chop them up. And now that we've got all these pieces chopped up, we have all the ingredients that we need in order to assemble this pizza. So let's go ahead and get our dough stretched. As always, thank you guys for watching this video. And if you made it this far, you should consider liking, subscribing, and turning on post notifications, because it really helps the channel out, helps the algorithm out, and I can make better videos and better pizzas with better audiences. Yeah, I don't know. Give it a good old toss as normal, and then down on the peel. Now, I'm gonna try to do this fast, that way all the ingredients don't stick to the pizza. So let's do it. All right, so obviously I'm not gonna put all the macaroni on top of this because that would just be ridiculous. We're just gonna smear an even layer on there, and that should be good. Now we gotta work quick here. You don't want the pizza to get stuck on the peel. So we're just gonna get this lobster on top as efficiently as we can. Make sure you spread it around, breading over top. So now let's get this in the oven. All right, and now we got that in the oven. We're gonna let it bake for a little bit. In the meantime, let's go ahead and cut our garnish, which is gonna be green onions. So we got the green onion. I'm just gonna pull off the good part that I want. This part's simple. You're literally just chopping thin slices, going horizontal like this. We're gonna make a garlic butter mixture. So I've already got melted butter in here, and we're just gonna pour that straight in. So we got some granulated garlic, pinch of parsley, pinch of basil, and a pinch of oregano. Then we'll take our brush, just mix that around a little bit. And now you've got a garlic butter for the top of this pizza. And now, our pizza is complete. All right, we're gonna take our garlic butter. I'm literally just gonna drizzle it over top like this. And I'm just gonna let gravity do its thing and shake down all the herbs and the butter and spices right on top of there. Get around the crust a little bit. And we've got our green onion garnish. We have successfully created a lobster mac and cheese pizza. Huge shout out to Fred because, oh my God, this pizza looks phenomenal. We gotta let the bite be the determining factor on whether this pizza was worth making or not. Buon appetito. Oh my God. Wait, it was good. And then the Gruyere kicked in and it made it even better. The smokiness with the nutty taste, the texture, this is crazy. I just got a good idea too. Oh yeah. Here we go. I like me some spice. This is incredible. Every time I take a bite, it gets better. Honestly, dude, I'm gonna have to rate this like 9.3. I'm just gonna leave it at that, 9.3. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Also, I got a few things planned in the back burner for you guys as a community. So in the next video, I'll discuss that a little bit more. My name is Anthony 𝐾𝐭. I'll see you guys on the next video.